Hello and welcome to the Serving Love podcast. Today is a brand new episode and a brand new chapter. Wow. I woke up feeling really inspired in a way that I haven't in a long time this morning. And I think I've been cocooning. Oh gosh. And it feels so good to wake up feeling renewed. And, sometimes you have these moments in life where you're like, why did that shitty thing happen? And then it catapults you into the next thing. Like it's like God giving you the nudge that you needed to get unstuck and do the next thing. And for those of you that don't know, I have had the same, I guess you could call it corporate job for about 13 years now, which who in this day and age stays at a company that long, I don't know, which I'm proud of. I really helped build this company to what it is today, and it's very successful. And I am not the owner, and I have a boss, and I don't like having a boss. That's a fact. I don't do well with having a boss at work. I never have. I've gotten fired from 2 jobs in the past because I've always just done things my way. And I've stayed for so long because it's been comfortable, right? Like you get the paycheck, you have a schedule every day. I do well when I have structure and a schedule. And there's a lot of ways in which it's really benefited me. And there's been many moments over the years where I'm like, I have to get out of here. Like something shitty happens at work. I decide I have to leave. And then I get comfortable again and I don't make the change. And I see that has been because I've been unstable in other areas of my life at those times, like didn't know where I was going to live. That's been the biggest one. And now I am settled back on the East Coast, which feels really right. I've had a year of dying, like the old parts of me dying that were always on the go, the parts of me that were always looking for the next peak experience. And I've really come home to myself. I know that sounds so cheesy, but it's the truth. I got back into Al Anon, Adult Children of Alcoholics 12-step program. It's the best thing I've ever done for myself. I feel grounded and rooted in the truth of who I am. And who I am is a wildly nuanced human being. I am multifaceted, as we all are, and I'm accepting parts of myself that I never have before because I thought they were uncool or, just uncool. Like, didn't think anybody would give a shit to hear about them or be interested in those things. And now I'm like, no, I love these parts of me. And so in this new chapter, like I really feel this unfolding of my desire to explore the artist in me. What I've come to realize since moving home is I come from a family of artists, really talented artists who make incredible things with their hands. And that's always been a part of me, but I've never thought that that is something I could make a living doing. I was like, I don't want to be a starving artist. That's not my path. But I'm stepping into believing that I get to be that artist and be abundant and even hopefully one day step out of having this corporate job that doesn't nourish my soul. And so my inspiration today is to take you on this journey with me of what is next for me, what I want to explore. I'm going to read you this list of things that I love. This morning it came to me that I should write down uh, what creative activities make me happy. And this comes after a week where I had a hard moment at work with my boss. And I really feel like I finally hit that spot where I was like, oh, yeah, the changes now that I'm stable in my home life and my finances, it's time for me to make moves. And here's the list. Creativity that makes me happy. And the idea is that I'll take you along the path each time I'm working on something new or I'm exploring something new, exploring something more deeply. And here we go: knitting, jewelry making, decorating my home. You know what? Let me talk to each one a little bit. I'm going to go back. Knitting. My grandmother taught me to knit when I was probably 7 years old. And I remember sitting and knitting with her and feeling so much peace. Oh, I'm going to cry. And how sweet that moment was. She's gone now, and I don't really think about it much, but I really loved sharing that with her. And I only ever knit scarves and baby blankets, which are the same exact stitch over and over and over again. And but I love it. I love it so much. I love going to a yarn store and touching all the yarn and learning about the different fibers that go into that yarn and how does it feel on my skin. I love knitting things for people that I love. And so I just signed up this morning for a class that starts in January and how to knit your own sweater, which, wow, I really wanted to learn how to do that forever. I went to the Fashion Institute of Technology for college, and I was always jealous of the designers, the fashion designers. I went for international trade and marketing for the fashion industries, but I was really jealous of the designers. And now I'm like, yeah, I want to be one. Okay, jewelry making. Um, I've always loved beading. It feels like a lot of these things are crafts that I loved as a kid that are coming back around. I feel like that happens in life. Like we start and we know who we are, and then we forget because the world shows us we can't be that, and um it takes a lot of work to get back to that. I really feel like that's what Tantra has been about for me. And for those of you who have been listening to the Serving Love podcast, so much of what this has been about is about the world of personal development and Tantra. And that's been such an incredible journey for me. And I've done some wild things along the way. And what I've come back to is um, me. Like, I'm in a place where I don't need the big frou-frou peak experiences to make me feel things anymore. It's brought me to feeling magic in the mundane, like everyday life things, like feeling so much joy from going to the grocery store or having tea with a neighbor. Like, I now feel so right in my body that those things are just as ecstatic as going to an ISTA or a tantra play party. Like, I'm sure I'll still get involved in those things, but this feels even better than anything that I've done before. So I'm so deeply grateful, and because of it, I am where I am now, and my life is on this new trajectory. So yeah, jewelry making, decorating my home has been the greatest passion I think that I've ever had. And I have this desire to help people create the dream of their homes. So that could very well be a service, and the dream of their homes, the home of their dreams. Oh my God. um, Decorating your home. And I mean, I believe that your home is a reflection of your soul, and that when you walk in the door, it should feel like a place of rest, but also great inspiration. It's like the cocoon that you come back to that has you feel re inspired to be out in the world, to create things that you love. And I'll give a tour one day of my home. But um, it was my intention to create it in a way where it's as sustainable as possible. So pretty much every fabric that I could possibly, find as sustainable is like organic cotton, real wool, real wood. The art is all things that friends have made for me or I've made, or that I feel when I see it, I'm a full soul yes, like this is mine. And of course, like all the products in my home, as natural as possible. Um, and the frequency of my home feels so amazing, and I'm so grateful that I've been able to do that, and I'd really love to support people in that. And I never thought that that was something that people might want, but when people walk into my home, they feel it and they're pretty amazed about what it is. So I would imagine in this service, it's where I really get to know somebody. I also have a coaching certification, love, sex, and relationship coaching certification. So it's almost a combination of learning who somebody is and going through the process of them really getting to know even more of who they are through designing and decorating their home. Um, so that's on the docket. I love fabric. Again, coming back to um, that. Um, Going to school for fashion. And even as a little girl, I had a lot of hypersensitivity. So I've always been very aware of how fabric feels on my body and very particular. Like I'd put on a pair of socks and my mom said I would have an absolute tantrum if the socks didn't feel right or if I put on a shirt that didn't feel good. So I've always paid acute attention to the fabric that goes on my body and how it feels. And I have this passion for when I travel, learning about the fabric of that place, the indigenous practices around the fabric. I'm getting super into all the sustainability practices, natural dyes, where does it come from, learning about the legends and the stories behind the fabric. And I even have the desire someday to have my own brand, whether it be sweaters or sustainable yoga wear that actually feels good. Um, PSA, if anybody has found a brand of yoga wear that has beautiful yoga sets that are in bright colors, that feels really good, please let me know. Please reach out because I have searched high and low and I cannot find it. And that is why I have this desire to create something of my own, which leads me to the idea of taking some online courses at FIT, my alma mater. Why not? And they have some beautiful, amazing, interesting courses on that. Oh my God, this list is long. I think as a projector, I'm not meant to be doing just one thing. So maybe your heads are spinning, but the idea of living a life that is cultivated around a number of um, purposes, passions that ignite me, like that feels so inspiring to me to get to do different things on a daily basis. And I actually have a brain that really does allow me to focus on a multitude of things. It's actually really good. It's really good for me. Um, I do love coaching. I still offer coaching. That feels really good. I particularly love working with men around um, locating their power and it's ever evolving, but I've loved working with men around this and being a loving, supportive, feminine being in their lives that helps them or gives them the space to be vulnerable and melt and guide them through some practices that help them touch pockets of shame or get clear on their desires and learn how to express them, and to step fully into their truth and their purpose. I've That's been a theme of helping men really step into their purpose. Um, Letting go of the fears they have around being a masculine being in the world. I tend to attract male clients who are so heart-centered and so loving and pure and have so much fear around hurting the people in their lives. Um, Obviously, we all know there's so much going around about, the patriarchy and this and that. And I think I'm probably going to get hate for saying this, but I think we fail to see how that does hurt really good men. Of course, there's bad humans, period, men, women, who do bad things. And so I believe that inherently most men are really good. And I love working with men who want to continue to be in a good way out in the world, but also be powerful in a way that's actually creating an ecosystem in their lives that is supportive of the feminine. So, yay. I fucking love that. The podcast. I fucking love this podcast. I've dropped it because it doesn't feel true for me to be working so much on the personal development side of things anymore. I'm sure that when I come across people who are up to amazing things, like my partner, adding that in there stealthily. That's right. I have a partner now, and he's so amazing, and he's an incredible artist and healer himself. And so he'll definitely be on the podcast at some point. But I think there's going to be a lot more solo podcasting in my future. I love interviews, and I also see how it can be a way for me to hide. So, yes, cooking. I love cooking. And funny enough, I have come to this realization now that I have a man that takes incredible care of me, like no man ever has before, emotionally, like in all the ways. And I just want to cook for him. It's like the most fun thing ever to nourish him in that way and to like send him off to work with lunch and dessert. And I never thought, never, ever, 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 ever thought in 5 bajillion years that I would be that woman. But here we are. I'm a little Susie homemaker and I fucking love it. And he really appreciates it and feels so cared for by that. So yeah, maybe we'll do an episode on cooking a meal for my man. And the other thing that I do love is sex. I particularly love the sex that I have with my partner. Wow. It is indeed better than I have ever imagined. I don't know exactly what I'll do with that, but it does feel like a creative outlet for sure. And last but certainly not least, investing. My father is an incredibly successful, talented, loving man in the finance world. And finally, after all these years, I'm getting that money is a conduit for good. And I see him doing that with his clients. And I've actually really not seen this in very many places, but um, how he looks at money and finances is so inspiring, and how he really wants the people that he works with to have a better life. And he particularly works with people around retirement and how they can, it's about like their health and quality of life. And I love listening to him on phone calls, feeling so excited when they could, have the surgery that they needed without worry, or get a new car because they've had the same one for 30 years and now they can have a new car that's safe. And so, yeah, I'm learning through him. So, some episodes to come on that as well, of what I've learned, where I'm learning. And yeah, so I feel inspired. And the last thing I'll say is that I feel like this morning I woke up with this thought of like, I don't give a fuck anymore what people think about me. That is none of my business. Like, what other people think of me is none of my business. As long as I'm walking in the world in a way that I feel proud of, and like I'm being a good human being, then what anybody else thinks is up to them. And it just had me think like, yeah, I want to have a podcast and a YouTube channel and do social media. And now I feel so secure in who I am that I don't feel fear of what people will have to say about this all. So that feels really exciting. And I can't wait to see what happens from this place. And I'm so grateful for the chaos and tumult that happened in my life this past week that has inspired me. And I'll just have you know that yesterday, well, since Wednesday, I've been having a fucking pity party. For one, being the helpless victim, which I know I'm not, but I needed to let myself have it. And um, this is what's on the other side. And it feels really exciting. And so stay tuned if you're interested. Don't if you're not. Know that I love you no matter fucking what. And thank you for listening to another episode of the Serving Love podcast. Wishing you a beautiful, beautiful day. Mwah! Until next time.